This episode of the SwitchCast is produced by Ethan Auburn, our honored Patreon backer, and SwitchCat. Everybody, I'm Casey.
And I'm JV.
And this is the SwitchCast, the podcast for the Nintendo Switch pile bunker.
Ooh.
And, well, you know what? It's one of those episodes where we are a day late, but we are packed with twice as much content as usual because we had another of those surprise Nintendo Directs dropped in our lap, just announced yesterday as we were preparing for our little Halloween episode.
Yeah, we generally don't like to delay episodes, but when it's something as important as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I feel like it warranted it this time.
Right, this wasn't even just a regular Direct where maybe there's a couple of games announced and maybe just an update about, you know, a few things on the horizon, which are always interesting. We like to address pretty fast. But yeah, this is possibly the most anticipated game for the Switch since, I mean, I guess possibly even since the Switch is now, maybe other than Mario, Odyssey.
Breath of the Wild.
Since the Switch came out, this is the game people are like, when's it coming, right? And then it was announced, and now it's just had so much time to build up. But yeah, other than like those other things, this is the longest we've been able to get hyped for a game yet, and there's just been so much. And today was so much information that we're going to be dedicating this entire episode to the Switch Direct, more or less, at least.
Yes, absolutely.
And though I do want to mention everybody who answered our Community Pulse question that I dropped yesterday about games that have scared you, we will still use that feedback and address that topic, maybe next week even, just to, you know, touch back on scary games and
absolutely.
You know, some Halloween stuff that went on. I mean, you know, we all had a pretty good... Did you have a good Halloween, JV?
I did. I had a pretty good Halloween. I actually dressed up as one of the characters from My Hero Academia, which is actually the game that I was playing and planning to review next week. So
okay, awesome.
To me, it all ties together.
Yeah, right. I just wear generic... I have a couple of weird, scary pieces of clothing and masks, and I just put together a different combination every year and use it an excuse to be a creep and walk around like a hunchback on the streets. I just love that.
It's pretty easy for me too, though, because I have the hairstyle and I have his exact glasses, so I just put blue hair on, a UA tracksuit, and it's just an easy breezy costume. I
just power up until my hair goes blonde, and then that's
what everyone does, right?
Superhuman.
Yes. Superhuman Jin.
Yes. Have you been playing anything else? Just to kind of keep up to date with what we're toying with here?
I've been playing Valkyria Chronicles 4, but I've mostly been playing My Hero Wants Justice because I'm in that mood right now. And I'm planning to review one of those next week.
I would like it if next week maybe you could at least play enough to talk to me about the comparisons between it and Valkyria Chronicles 1, because I am playing Valkyria Chronicles 1 right now, and it is so in my wheelhouse. This game,
I know. I told you, Casey.
It really is.
I love Valkyria Chronicles, even from back in the day, and I used to rave about it all the time to you. I didn't know you actually haven't played it yet.
Well, you know, back then, like, I wanted to play it back on the Vita days, but it was one of those. It was the same situation back then where I had a lot of stuff to review, and I just don't think I ever had the time. I think it even came out around the same time, something like Gravity Rush or, you know, some other big game that I had to choose over it and didn't have a chance to go back to it. So now that it's on the Switch and it was really cheap, you know, like what, $15 on there, it was a no-brainer. I had to download it, and I've been touching it every so often while I was on vacation even. That's right, I was on vacation last week. So.
Yeah, I'm sure that went super well.
It was a great little trip to the Barbados, and I did play some of the Valkyria there. Also, to keep up with what I'm playing with, the game Will, A Wonderful World, I am so happy to see that my words actually came across to a lot of the listeners, and there is a group of people in the Discord chat who have been playing it because of the review, and I have people to talk about it with and to kind of analyze all the little side stories. There's a few parts where some of us may have hit a little bit of a dead end here or there, and we kind of traded notes about, because we're all around the same place. And there's a lot of good twists, but there's a lot of things that you only see if you get certain bad endings. And there's information, as I mentioned, that, you only get from those, but no one really goes to like see all the bad endings. But it gives us a chance to talk and say, oh, I saw this bad ending and this character reveals this little factoid. If you do that. And it's been very deep with that.
Maybe in the future, Switch Topic is in hand. Who knows?
You know what? Here's the thing: there's 3 others who have, like I said, who are playing in the Discord, and we're all going to dedicatedly, since it's so bite-sized, you could play like a chapter in like 15 minutes, and just play a little bit every day, and we're all kind of pushing at each other to stay up with each other, right?
Yeah,
so we're
it's kind of like a book
to,
club, really.
Right. So I think we're all going to try to beat this around the same time. It'll be fresh in all of our minds. And yes, this is exactly the kind of thing I've always wanted to do a Switch Topics on. It's a visual novel, but it got people going. And honestly, there's so much like mature content to talk about that I could never talk about it, on a regular podcast. But the Switch Topics, we kind of lift the, the veil for the M-rated discussions.
I definitely want to make note. We generally reserve people joining Switch Topics for our Patreon backers. So if there's anyone who wants to join in the community in that route, please back us on Patreon. Patreon.com/the_SwitchCast. It is definitely the best way to support us and to keep this podcast going. So, patreon.com/the_SwitchCast. It's something we really, truly appreciate.
Definitely. It's the backbone of everything that we do here. And thanks once again to everybody who is a backer currently. You forever have a place in our hearts.
Absolutely.
All right, JV, we cannot afford to waste a single moment talking about anything else. We have to get into the Switch focus of this episode and really pull apart this Nintendo Direct.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, Switch focus, and it's the Nintendo Direct. So, Smash Brothers Ultimate. This was a 40-minute Direct for one game.
To me, it really felt like it could have gone longer. This Direct is so jam-packed, and while I know some people probably aren't super interested in hearing about Smash anymore, because it has had so much coverage in the past, this game is so jam-packed, I feel like it's worth all the coverage so far.
I will say in advance, I didn't expect them to go into, like, the options menu and like the help section. Like they went into every nook and cranny of this game. Not that took up a lot of time, but
no.
And there is a lot to parse through here. So I guess we'll have to do it in the order that they brought everything up and just kind of, attack all these things one at a time, starting with the very first. They always like to lead off with a new character or two. And this one started off with a Echo Fighter.
Yep.
And we have now we have Ken from Street Fighter.
The OG Echo Fighter.
That's true. Well, they did also make the claim. What is it? Luigi, they called the original Echo Fighter.
Echo Fighter.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good point. Luigi was essentially a palette swap back then.
Yeah, right. So. And Ken was around the same thing, though I do ascribe to their philosophy that perhaps Ryu is the original Echo Fighter of Ken.
Yeah, who knows? Because they came out at the same time.
Yeah, but I forget who was Player 1 in the original Street Fighter 1. I think it's possible that Ken might have been Player 1's character. Because that's the only difference. I think in Street Fighter 1, it was just if you were Player 1, you were Ken. Player 2, it was Ryu. And they were identical in that game. I could have that backwards, though. But
I know what you mean. It's if you listeners know for certain, let us know. That'd be great to know.
But he has, they did, show off a few little differences. He's a little faster. His helicopter kick has multiple connecting points of damage and a few other little details like his final smash. So, little differences there. But
yeah, absolutely.
But then a brand new character comes right after him. I also love the scene of, it starts out with a little Mac actually punching it out in the ring. And then Ken's the one who comes in, gives him a swift hit in the face. And then he knocks him out. And then Ken gets knocked out by
Incineroar.
Incineroar, not expecting that.
No. I feel like, in retrospect, Incineroar is a perfect pick for Super Smash Brothers, but I don't think anyone was necessarily expecting him to be actually included. If anything, some people were suspecting like Decidueye or Zeraora, but Incineroar, wow.
That's the thing. There's a lot of good fighting type Pokemon from the game, so it's really hard to hone in on which one would be picked. I guess, he's the most, though, he has the wrestling persona, he has the character that belongs to this kind of game, and there is no other, actual wrestler type, like pro wrestler, like WWE style character in here.
And you can definitely see all of those pro wrestling moves integrated into his moveset. A lot of his moves have, flourishes and taunts at the very end of their string.
Yeah.
That lets you, that really shows off his showmanship. Incineroar is a heel for sure.
They did note that he can cancel out of any of his post-attack taunts, so they won't actually hurt you, but it's just kind of like an automatic thing that he does.
So it's cool, but not necessarily anything that would be a risk or endanger you in any way.
Yes, but they showed off a few of his moves again. Of course, I thought it was really cool. He has the one where he throws you into the clothesline. He throws you into the ropes of an arena that pop up, and then you have to time it. You time the attack when they come back at you, and if you time it perfectly, you do a clothesline and you knock them down. You do it a little late, you do a different move, like a back flip or something like that, and if you do it too early, then you just totally miss. But I think that's kind of cool that it actually has a different, one of 3 different moves or lack of move, depending on your timing of this.
Yeah, and I thought it was actually really interesting in the Nintendo Direct, or in the Nintendo Treehouse afterwards, they showed off Incineroar in action, and that summoning of the clothesline and hitting them back, it works in midair. You don't have to be planted on the ground, so seeing just a clothesline floating in midair while you're launching this move in the sky, it was a lot of fun. It looked really cool.
Still an interesting choice, especially because there's so many popular ones. I think they didn't want to pick anything though that was too
obvious, maybe.
Well, not even that. Just no one who's already in Pokken.
That's true.
They didn't want to pick anything that's from there because they already got their own fighting thing, and that already has most of the most popular things that people wanted. And
I think he was definitely my starter pick for that generation. So I'm glad he was brought in, and they even showed off his final smash, which was kind of intense.
Yeah. Oh, where he slams them into the ring with a nuclear explosion that looks like it kills everyone in the arena. Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane. Z moves are already really spectacular in the Sun and Moon, and they amped it up even further for Smash Ultimate. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah. So right after that, we went into the Amiibo. They showed off a few sets of Amiibo that are going to be released in the future. First off, well, they did say that there's going to be one for every new character in the game. So we're getting one for Ridley, for Wolf, for the Inklings. They are coming December 7th, 2018. Then they showed a King K. Rool, and the Ice Climbers will be coming February 15th of next year. And the next one they showed off was a group, Isabelle, Pichu, Ken, Young Link, and Daisy will be coming sometime next year.
It's just so good that they're keeping the Amiibos alive. Really, the Smash Amiibos were the most popular Amiibos from the Wii U era, so I'm glad it's still a thing.
Now, I did over here, they said after they showed off those characters that they're that we are done. That is the last of the characters to be revealed, or the included characters to be revealed for the game. That is the total cast. But we are going to get a few more reveals throughout this presentation.
Direct.
Because, there's going to be one that's kind of like a special bonus. He's not technically, he's going to be, I guess because he's considered DLC or something like that.
Yep.
And then they're going to reveal that there are more DLC characters that you can buy. We just don't know who they are yet. But we'll get to that a little further down the road.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the next things and the big things that they talked about was the new Spirits mode.
So this kind of confirms what people were saying when we saw after the last Direct, and it was blurred out on the screen, that one section and people try to digitize it.
Enhance.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Zoom in. Enhance.
Enhance.
Spirits is the word that it looked like, and people pretty much agree that was likely it. And yes, it is, but it is not what we thought. We thought it was going to be the story mode, but this is actually more of a customization feature for your fighters and styles.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's even necessarily a customizing feature. It feels like a very, very diverse event mode.
All right, so yeah, it has like this mode, right, where you are going to be fighting in all sorts of different specialty challenges. And the reward for beating each of these special challenges is that you're going to release spirits, or you're going to recruit these spirits, which are a bunch of minor characters from other game franchises. This is kind of
major characters.
Yeah, or even major characters, but just from other franchises, they couldn't fit as fighters in this game. So they're kind of the successor to trophies, which I like how they mentioned. Is like, you know what, those trophies were really kind of hard to develop, and there was a lot of them, and it's
kind of a pain.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain, and it really didn't play too much a role in that game other than as a collectible. But these are, once you unlock them, they're kind of like equipable buffs for your characters. You can start off by equipping a what was the main type they called? Like a primary spirit,
right,
to a character, and that will give you certain either stat boosts or abilities. Your primary spirit can then eventually equip support spirits to further augment your abilities. I saw some things like you can get like a jump boost for a little extra height. I saw one that speeds up, like gives you a healing over time effect. There was quite a variety of them, and they all had different, like, they had that triangle of powers. Like there's ones that are attack, defense, and grabby.
Yeah, so there was attack, grab, and block. Attacks beat grab beats block beats attack. That's just a pretty classic trinity of weaknesses and strengths. Now there are different spirit classes as well, which kind of reminded me of one of those gacha mechanics.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, where it's like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 stars, and that kind of determines the base power of each of these spirits. In Smash, it's currently Novice, Advanced, Ace, and Legend. So those are the 1 star to 4 star. I guess I'm not sure if it counts as a rarity, but that's the baseline power, which I thought was cool.
Yeah. I really did think, though, when they showed off the battles, the spirit battles, how
you actually get them?
Yeah, the types of fights were really cool and provide probably a huge boost to the solo mode, and they don't even talk about the full-on, like, story mode till much later, the last thing, really. But we saw that there's, like, the challenges all kind of relate to who you are trying to, or what spirit you're trying to free. Like, they showed one for, what's that big monster, the sealed monster from, Skyward Sword.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, but that big giant toothy mouth thing, right? To get its spirit, you do a fight where there's like a giant K. Rool who just kind of stands there. I don't know what his point, but then Girahim, the, weird elvish antagonist of that game, you fight him, and it's just this kind of weird duo battle with like a giant King K. Rool and Girahim as your opponents. Or when you want to unlock the Able sisters from, the Animal Crossing series, you fight 3 Sonic the Hedgehogs to unlock those hedgehogs. So
yeah, it's so cool. Yeah. One of my favorite ones that I saw was when you're trying to unlock the Hal Emmerich, or the Otacon character from Metal Gear. His special spirit battle is you fighting against Dr. Mario, protected by a gigantic Rob robot.
Yes, very
that
cool.
was brilliant.
They even specified how, like, the AI might act differently. Like, I saw in some of them, they mentioned, like, the opponents are very easily distracted by items, so you could take advantage of that. Or sometimes they might, go into the metal armor mode automatically. So there's all sorts of different combinations of challenges, which I think is going to be very fun. And it's always a lot better than just, hey, beat this combination of guys now, or harder difficulty. No, it's like really innovative, different challenges that cause you to maybe think a little bit about how to take on this particular enemy. And I'm guessing the spirit equips are only usable. I'm assuming they're not really usable for online battles or like competitive. This is just for like this mode and maybe certain types of multiplayer battles.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm pretty sure you can turn it off in the competitive setting, but yeah. I still think this is absolutely brilliant. They even showed that they're willing to utilize assist trophy characters as part of these competitors or part of these fighters. So the combinations of characters, assist trophies, and permutations really fits each of the spirits that you have to capture.
Yeah. Oh, right now I remember. There is definitely like the multiplayer version with this, but you get a certain score or rewards based on, because these spirits can be leveled up. They can be also powered up in various ways. But if you beat someone who has like a higher level spirit than you get even more rewards from the fight. So
I think there might still be one of the single player modes. They didn't go into the full-fledged multiplayer aspect of the spirit mode. So we'll see.
Yeah, let's see. And they also had like a little bit of the lore about what these spirits are, and they said how these are basically the toys, because all the characters in these games are basically toys animated by the imagination of whoever kids like playing with them. But these are like the toys that have lost their physical forms in our real world, and now their spirits are just kind of like not able to return to our world, and so that's why you have to go and kind of like rescue them and I guess give them a new home inside your body or something like that. It's a little weird,
Yeah, but Smash Bros. Lore is always a little bit weird.
Right. They also mentioned that some master spirits unlock facilities, which I'm not quite sure. I guess that's just more like features or places to visit in the game.
Yeah.
And there's just probably a ton of them, I'm sure.
And I feel like the master spirits unlocking facilities aspect might tie into the full-fledged single-player adventure mode later.
Yeah, maybe. That makes sense.
Now, what I thought was also really cool is that you can use these spirits to customize your amiibo figures.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know if you got into it at all, Casey, but there was a really big amiibo fighting scene here in Austin, and it got really, really insane and competitive and fun.
Well, I was never a big Smash player before, so I never really got into that, yeah.
Yeah, but amiibo fighting is essentially where you take the AI of one amiibo and the AI of another and pit them together against each other, just without any direct user input whatsoever. And there was some stat customization and behavior customization in the Wii U version, but with all of these spirits and all these different combinations, the customizability of your amiibo goes up like crazy, exponentially.
I kind of like that. Like, that's actually... See, that sounds exciting to me because I like the idea of I play a lot of those manager games. Like, I like sports management games where you just kind of like, you make the strategy for the team, you give them instructions, you tell them how to train, but then they go and they play on their own. And maybe you watch the game and you see how they play against other people's teams and you kind of like just have to analyze the game. And that's all you're doing. It's not about having the best reflexes or anything like that. It's about just the strategy and observing and figuring out what plans to make for the future. So that does speak to me. And I still have just a couple of amiibo, and I would probably even just like, if that's all I need is just any one or two amiibo and I could possibly do this, then I might be on board for that. But I'd have to find other people who do with this too. I don't know how big that scene is here.
Yeah,
but
it was
totally up my alley.
Yeah, you only really need one amiibo and that's it. And it kind of felt like, Pokemon in the sense where you're throwing out your Pokemon and you're not necessarily saying commands like, Pikachu, go run up the stairs or aim for the horn. It's just utilizing the AI that you programmed, and it feels really nice. It's fun, and
it's exciting to watch that too, because like, especially when you can't do anything directly and you're just like, go, all you can do is root for your monster, your monster. Yeah, for your amiibo to fight. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had my Mega Man called Ultraman, and I had set him up so he could have a very explosive shield and a faster charge up shot so that he could shield and charge. Yeah, it's
very cool.
This integrated with a spirits mode and customizability is so much fun. And I feel like like it's going to be a hidden gem.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm totally in. If there's a way to do this online with people, JV, consider me part of your Amiibo league.
Yeah. No kidding.
Down. All right. So speaking of competition, they then shifted into the local and online section of it. And the first thing they showed off that there's no longer the for fun or for glory modes. They just kind of have the mode where you can pick your preferences for matches. And you're going to there pick how competitive or how silly you want the options to be. And then it will try to match you up with people who are closest to your preferences and closest to you, physically in your part of the world to, find matches for you.
Yeah. And I think this is a brilliant way to matchmake for Smash, just because not everyone wants to play the exact same way. And, with how prevalent online multiplayer is nowadays, I think this type of matchmaking is the way to go.
It's pretty, with so many options, there's so many knobs you can turn up and down, and it's such a spectrum from competitive to casual chaos that are available to people. It'd be impossible to just say, these are my settings and I'm only gonna, play with people who have these exact settings, or it's equally bad just to say, like, these are the competitive settings and these are the casual settings for online. You have two choices. No, now you can tweak everything and you'll get as close as reasonable, but they're just going to prioritize getting you a game faster. And I think people prefer that. It's like, all right, so the timing is slightly off, or maybe I'm playing with more lives or less lives or more items. Whatever, I'm playing. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's a much looser experience, yet you're still having some form of control over what type of game you're playing.
Yeah. They were very they stressed a lot, though, how much they want people to keep their, connection stable. They even kind of hinted, hey, you want to use the LAN connection, maybe, please, so we don't have to have people dropping out. They were as suggestive as possible. Ooh. without being demanding.
How suggestive.
Yes. Without being demanding that, please guys, don't have bad internet for this. Make this game work as smoothly online as possible so this can actually be as competitive and fun as possible.
Absolutely. It's natural. If you want to have the most stable connection, you really, really need to go for a hard line to your modem to your router.
If it's pretty cheap, I might pick something like that up and just connect it when I know I'm going to be playing for a long time. Because my Switch isn't really close to where my
router is.
Yeah, where my router is, but I would be willing to run that wire across the living room into the office just for that time. If especially if I know I'm home by myself, or maybe I have a friend over, but we're just gonna be playing this for a long time, and I wouldn't mind having that stupid awkward wire across my living room for the few hours where I'm doing this.
That's a good idea, and I honestly haven't really experienced that many online multiplayer issues, but if it's something as hectic as Smash, I think it might be worth it there.
I'm going to consider it. I'll see how it goes. If I feel like I'm causing any problems for people online with my Wi-Fi connection, then I will not hesitate to get it. But we'll see how I do first off. I got to up my internet speed anyway, because like I said, I want to do the streaming soon. So yeah. I do have to up my upload speeds and get the better plan.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying to do some sort of geo system where they're trying to matchmake you with people closer to you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. That's the most important thing, is to keep the performance high by getting people close to you, and then the next priority sounds to be your rule preferences.
Right, and of course, disconnecting will penalize you in this game.
They also showed off the rating system that you're going to have.
Global Smash Power?
Yes. I think it's pretty cool that it actually is the number of people that have a lower ranking than you. It's basically, if you have a 10,000 ranking, that means that there are 9,999 people who are lower ranked than you. And any new player that joins the game kind of boosts you up by one step if they're just a new player. So it's kind of cool. Just like,
it is.
Look at it like that.
I think it's really cool. It kind of reminds me of the Travis Touchdown, No More Heroes type of situation, where everyone has ranks based on what level assassin they are, and then you have to kill people above you. You can also see it kind of like your power level.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came to mind. Yes, your power level.
With Dragon Ball. What does the scouter say about his GSP level?
Yeah, right.
It's over 9,000, which is actually kind of bad.
Yeah, he must have just got the game today. Wow. Mistake. But it's kind of cool. It's a good system for matchmaking. But particularly good for the matchmaking is once you are high enough to access the elite battles. I think that's good. They even say if you're in elite battles, you're good. Period. Right? Like that's the place for the master or the people who really know the game well.
Right. Yeah. So if there's some scrub that comes up and is like, "Oh man, I'm so good at Smash, bro," you ask them, "Do you have elite battles unlocked?" And if they don't, then you know they're a liar.
Yeah.
It's like posers.
What I found very interesting was how they specified that when they look towards balance patches in the future, the elite battles are where they're going to go to look for data, which I think is really smart because, a lot of people, especially newer players, and this is something the more competitive you play any game, you tend to hear people say a lot really quickly, this character's broken, or this move is broken, or this is, cheap, or that's cheap, right? And that's just something I think that a lot of people who, when you're not great at a game, that's your first reaction. And you'll complain about stuff when you just don't know yet how to handle certain tactics.
Right. I remember when Smash Brothers for the Wii U first came out, everyone was screaming about how broken Little Mac was. Mm-hmm. And it's because all of his hits connect really hard and they knock you out very easily. But over time, once people got better at the game, people started realizing how bad his own recovery is. And that's one way that the meta shifted. And now Little Mac is kind of on the lower tier of the competitive play.
Yeah. There are such things as characters that just have higher or lower skill ceilings, and ones with a lower skill ceiling might seem more powerful to a newer player because it's really easy to just max out and master that character, whereas another character who's really stronger might take a few more weeks of practice before people learn, oh, here's how he kicks butt. All right, got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's cool that they have this. This is the place for those people to play against each other and really prove what's strong, what's maybe not being used so much, and what counters have been invented.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great way to provide statistics to Nintendo so that they would be able to pin down what balancing they need to do.
Oh, also speaking of some of the, there were other two little features about the rankings is, no self-destructing. You'll be penalized for that and disconnected because I know a lot of people do this in some games, at least on when I played MOBAs, they called it smurfing, when you would purposely tank your ranking just so you can play seriously and crush lower ranked people's. They would.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that.
Right. And also you can have an individual ranking per character. So if you're really good with one character and he's a really high rank, you could pick up a brand new character and start at you'll start at, I think, the highest ranking you've ever achieved, and then it'll have to correct over time if, I guess you lose with that character. It'll then, come down to maybe a more reasonable one if it's a character you're not good at.
Right. And that's totally understandable. And I actually like that. Because if I'm really good with, let's say, Mega Man, and I go into someone who's completely different, like Zero Suit Samus, then, I don't want to be paired up with people who are already super good.
Right, yeah. What do you think of the Smash tags?
Now, I think the Smash tags are cool, but I don't know if I'd really be playing around with them that much. So whenever you beat a player online, you actually get their smash tag, which is essentially a character icon, their name, and I believe some sort of quote or something like that.
It's like, I guess I think people are probably going to customize them a little bit, but it'll probably have...
It's like a dog tag, essentially.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and you get them for every time you beat a player, and I expect to be giving out my smash tag quite a bit. So
I'm sure, everyone will be giving... Right, you don't lose yours, but people get a copy of it when they beat you. I think the most important thing about these is they can be exchanged for gold that you can then spend for other things in the game.
Yeah, in the game. So it definitely incentivizes you to play more and win more as much as possible.
Yeah. And I wonder, I guess, if it matters, like, if you're not the winner, do you get, like, everyone who is lower ranked than you in the match?
Yeah, they didn't specify that. Yeah. I think it might be pure wins. Who knows? Maybe.
They also showed off that you have those little short messages, kind of like the ones that you would, do in a lot of the games, or like in, like the preloaded messages, like when you're in Monster Hunter on the 3DS was big on those, where you just kind of like hit a button and you send some pre-canned, hey, good to meet you, or let's have a good match. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, let's have a fair fight.
Yeah, right.
Like whoever actually says that.
Right. I almost never use those in any game that they're available, except for like, sometimes they let you customize them in advance. But
but it lets you put certain messages when you're loading into a game and at the end screen when you've already seen the results.
Yeah. Oh, what I did like that they showed that they added to this game was the fact that you could actually play certain solo modes while waiting for a match to be found for you.
Yeah, online. I believe that's how fighting games should be, to be honest. You don't want to be to pigeonholed waiting for a downloadable or waiting for a match-made game.
Yeah, like Pokken did that. Pokken let me play the computer, which actually ended up being a bad thing because the computer AI was always set to like easy, so it actually like
made you worse.
It threw off my game, right? Yeah, I would be playing against like this really low-level AI, and now I'm like, I'm forgetting my combos because the enemy, I'm just used to something that's so stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to do them.
You're being more reckless than you should be.
Right,
exactly. A real human, yeah.
But yeah, you can play different modes in this while you wait, which is good because nothing's worse than just staring at that, searching for party,
Yeah, exactly. There's also a spectator mode that they made sure is available online. That was in Smash Wii U as well, and I actually kind of liked it. I used to have the spectator mode playing when some friends came over, and in the Wii U's spectator mode, you can actually bet on who you suspect would win.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so it was kind of like, if you remember Salty Bet, or back in the day on Twitch, where you can bet on who you think is going to win, and if you win, you get some coins back. It works like that, and it was kind of a fun party experience. No one was playing the game, but they were watching.
It's funny. I was thinking about something like that when you were talking about the amiibo fighting and having a little league like that. And I wanted to make a joke about gambling on it, but I don't want to like sound like I'm promoting gambling in the real world.
Yeah,
but
what's the joke?
Well, just that's it. I was just going to say like basically the idea of like putting money down on, your amiibos fighting like that. I like this thing though. The battle arenas, which also incorporated some of that spectator mode in it. These are kind of like the rooms you'll make for either, friends, or maybe you'll open it up for other people to find it too. But this sounds like the way you're going to basically create a room for you and your friends to all join up. And it doesn't have to be just the people who are currently fighting. You basically put your token where you want to participate in the room. So you could either put it in the arena if there's a slot open to be in the current or next match. You could put it in the little stadium section on the side there, so you could just spectate during the match. Or you can queue up on the line and your little token it'll show you the order that people are waiting to play in the next matches. So you'll see like, there's 4 or 5 people waiting to get in a match. You're in the next battle. Or you can just go and be in the spectator mode and actually watch the fight as it goes on, which is kind of cool.
It kind of reminds me of the classic arcade experience
Yeah,
where
right.
you have
Put your
people who are
quarter
just
up.
watching the game or throwing down and waiting to be next.
Yeah, basically. They also showed that you can incorporate the Switch online app in this, and I believe it will allow you to voice chat with anyone else in the room, which could be cool. If that works, you should just be able to be, chatting with everyone who's there, whether or not you're fighting. I hope that it comes through and it works as
Intended.
As intended, yeah. I mean, I'm still probably going to use my Discord and stuff like that, but maybe I'm going to be making a room and I'm going to be inviting friends who don't use Discord. And if they have this app, it might be a good way for me to chat with them, outside of Discord.
And I wonder if they'll have it so that you can hop on voice chat with random people online.
Yeah, right.
Perhaps
that's what I'm
could
hoping
work
too.
out. Yeah. So that you can actually communicate with those who are online, even if they're not necessarily on your friends list.
Now, was this team mode in previous games before? The 2 versus 2?
I believe it was. 2 versus 2 on the same console against 2 online. Yes, I believe this was the case.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I think that's nice. I like the idea of, teaming up and finding someone who complements my play styles, or learning how to really work as a single unit,
right,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Double Smash is its own competitive scene actually, and I feel like that's a really cool aspect of the game as well. It's something that I would consider doing if I wanted to get even deeper into competitive Smash.
I could say, yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so let's see. Smash World. Oh yes, and they also showed off for the online app that they're gonna have the Smash World, which is kind of like what Splatoon did, but they didn't go into too many specifics. Just mentioned that you can post things. It's not really gonna be about tracking your rank and stuff. You're going to be able to post stuff, and I guess there's going to be some sort of updates. It wasn't super clear, so I just think that they have something planned, and they're not really totally complete with it yet.
Yeah. It has a lot of potential.
Yeah. All right, so then they showed off the assist trophies, and there are a lot of them, actually, 59 in total, which actually outnumbers the Pokemon in this game.
Yeah, that's a lot.
that is a lot. I thought some of them were pretty standout and interesting. First and foremost, I was kind of surprised to see Springman as one of these assist trophies, because I thought he was someone they would reserve as a full-fledged character in the future.
I feel like they probably didn't know about ARMS long enough to have him be fully fleshed out as a character.
They did say that is why some other characters couldn't come into the game yet. Oh, that's why Xenoblade Chronicles characters couldn't be characters in the game, because that game wasn't announced until after development had started for this, and by that time they already kind of decided on the roster and they didn't want to change it. So I guess that makes sense. I thought they might have known about ARMS earlier than that, though, so I guess I was still a little surprised, but I mean, I guess they could still make him a main
they haven't
character.
done so already. They haven't done so in the past, but I guess technically they could always convert assist trophies into full-fledged characters. They have the 3D model.
Well, they did that thing in Pokken also, where what was it? Toxicroak? Not Toxicroak. The
Krogunk.
Krogunk started out as an assist character, and then he just became a actual normal fighter. So I almost foresee the same scenario for Springman, where they added him as an assist, and then people are gonna be like, "But why'd you make him a main character? He's already in the game. You should have picked someone else from that game."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Min Min.
Min Min. Okay, you know what? I could see that she is actually really popular. I think Springman I pick as the main one only because he just seems like the cover character. But you're right. Min Min actually was like the runaway popular face of that game.
They have a lot of really good options. All
right. It's all right.
Like Twintel, they showed the spirit of Twintel, so who knows?
That's true. I thought the other ones they showed off were all pretty cool. I really was surprised the flies in hand from Mario Paint. Really, that made me laugh. It
was really silly how it was presented, and I actually really liked Yuri from Fatal Frame. I thought it was super cool to acknowledge Yuri, because that was one of the big horror games from the Wii. The original Nintendo Wii.
And that is such a creepy effect she does when she snaps the photo and all the characters like shriek and freeze in place. Oh.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
That's going in our Halloween episode.
Oh yeah. Fatal Frame, definitely. And what was also kind of cool was that apparently you can kill your own assist trophies so that you can deny your opponent with kill points.
Yeah. Can you remind me how the assist trophies work in this game?
They work like Pokemon. They work like Pokemon, but they are interactable like a standard character, and they disappear over a certain number of time. But if you're playing stock mode, or not stock mode, if you're playing score mode, if the opponent kills the assist trophy, it counts as a point for them.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that fact before they mentioned this, or I forgot that fact. So interesting. So you can take it out just to make sure that they don't get the point for finishing it off. All right. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So after that, they actually went into the help menu and just kind of showed that you can go and see all sorts of guides for the game, but I guess that's going to be helpful because there's a lot of features to this game, and we're just tip of the iceberg here so far this episode, listeners. And I'm sure that there's going to be a time where like, wait, how does this feature work? And I'm going to go through it and I'm going to look through the guide for it, but whatever.
Yeah. This is the new age manuals, right? The game is not going to come out with a physical manual anymore. So
yeah, I'm so glad I don't have those pieces of paper actually anymore.
Yes. Yeah. It's wasteful, and no one really refers to it except like once or twice ever.
Yeah. Century Smash. Okay, that was a new mode they showed off here. It's a new mode revealed for this, but this was something that existed in previous games, though, right?
Right. It used to be All-Star mode, which is essentially just a spamming of the current available characters that just keep spawning until you can keep killing them off bit by bit. Now, Century Smash is that same mode, except all of the characters are available to attack you instead of just the ones that you can choose.
Okay. Now, it looked like, are they all really easy to knock out? Because it looked like they were just knocking them out left and right. Is it just like they're all at like 100% damage to start?
Or they have a high knockback rate. It's just, you're essentially just going through a list of all of the characters you've unlocked, and once you complete it, then you're the All-Star. In this case, Century Smash, you don't even have to unlock all the characters. They just all come at you.
Okay, very cool. I thought they specified it was all available characters, as in the ones that you have unlocked. But I guess maybe that I interpreted that differently.
Yeah, so, I mean, you might have the right interpretation. Who knows?
Okay,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, so we'll have to verify whether it means all the characters in the game or all the ones that you've unlocked in the game already. So we'll see. That was pretty cool. They did show that you will start the game with just the original characters unlocked. Just like the Smash Brothers 1 characters will be the only ones on your roster when you begin the game. And I'm imagining you're going to be able to unlock them super fast because
there's 75.
Yeah, there's a lot. So you're going to want to get some characters unlocked pronto. Like I want a dozen within my first night playing this game, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
They still haven't. That's one thing they didn't specify in any of these directs is exactly how you're going to unlock some of these guys. I'm guessing there's going to be multiple ways to do it because I don't feel like it should be all based on offline or it should be all based on online. It should be like, people who can play the game whichever way they want to unlock the characters.
Yeah. We have no real details on how they expect us to unlock characters, but I feel like the rate at which we will be unlocking them is going to be high.
It better be. All right, so replay saves. You can save your replays and make videos out of them, that can be. We're gonna see some people's creations out of that, and it's gonna be very good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I like that, being able to make the videos and customize the camera angles, that kind of thing. See, they have the challenges for the rewards. That's a feature from the previous games where you can, basically it's like your achievements, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah. Yes. Right. They even also have a little mode where you can look at all the quick tips that pop up during loading screens and stuff. Mm-hmm. So if you had a quick tip that you liked but you forgot about, you can scroll back and check it out. It's pretty good.
You can also check your records, either track your, win, loss, all that sort of stuff, both online and offline, and, review your history. I think that's a good way to see, like, what characters you're best or weakest against. So, and they track so many pieces of data in this, like total distance you've launched people, how much damage you absorbed, all that stuff that's kind of fun to look at over time there.
Yeah. Some people like that stuff, some people don't, but it's there available for you if you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's also a shop, so you can use your gold to buy items like soundtrack, music pieces, actual spirits, etc., and you can even, as we mentioned earlier, trade in tags for gold.
Right. I'm wondering if there's going to be some characters that you can just, kind of like in Mario Odyssey, like if you just can't find stars, you can just buy all the stars you need. I have a feeling that the shop will be like your last ditch way of like, all right, I can't unlock characters or maybe whatever. I'm just going to go and dump a bunch of gold I've built up online to unlock characters.
Yeah,
I feel like that's going to be
sense.
like your fail-safe option.
I wonder if specific characters are going to be available only in the shop. Maybe like Wario, where you have to throw a bunch of gold at him so you can unlock him as a character. That type of stuff.
Yeah. The language support will be for 11 languages, including, I like that the voice acting for some of the characters also changes, like you showed off the Pokemon. And from now on, I will only call the villager the Dorpsbewohner.
Dorpsbewohner.
I love that. That was awesome. That is all he is known to me from now on.
Good luck remembering that.
Oh, and the big reveal.
Oh, okay.
Brightness and sound options.
Oh, game changer.
They did get, I was already writing down the joke of how that's like the huge big secret reveal. And then they did say something that was mildly interesting, how you can set it to be different for docked and, travel mode. Yeah. And I was like, oh, actually that is pretty good because I tend to turn the brightness way down once I'm traveling to save battery. So the fact that the game could be on full brightness at home and then automatically, lower it when I'm running wirelessly, it's actually kind of appreciated. So,
hey, cool. Nice brightness, sound, neat. Yeah. Neato.
The radar was, right, they let you see the radar so you could see where all the characters are on in the map, even if they're like not visible or on the dark screen.
Yeah, you can change the size of that. Really cool.
Transparent ally, so when you're online or you're playing with the team mode, you won't get distracted by your allies who stand on top of you. They're kind of like semi-transparent, so that makes
this is actually really cool, and actually one of the biggest problems some people have with doubles Smash.
I can see it. Yeah.
They can't tell whether their teammate is a friend or a foe, so making your allies transparent helps with that problem.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. That's like one of those little details that I think people don't appreciate until they actually encounter it and they're like, oh yeah, now I realize that's a big deal. Like, yeah.
Now here is a big deal. I thought this was super groundbreaking, like legitimately groundbreaking. Apparently they're including a custom balance mode, which allows you to tweak the balance or give specific characters certain handicaps in case a player is just so much better than others.
Well, this wasn't available in previous games.
No, this was not.
Oh, okay. I just assumed this was so that makes a lot of sense. In fact, that's how much sense it makes to me that I just expected it was a thing available in previous games that you could up or lower the power of certain characters. Okay.
Yeah, this is a really big deal because one of the biggest problems with Smash as a party game is that some people just get so good that it kind of makes the party modes of this game unfun. Mm-hmm. So adding this custom balance mode, giving certain players handicaps, will definitely set the bar, will definitely at least even the odds and make the game a lot more fun for people.
Totally makes sense. JV, what do I complain to you about the most with when I play with my card game groups?
Yeah, you complain that certain people are just not as competitive or as good at the game. So it does cause lots of balancing problems when you're playing multiplayer.
Right. So this isn't just for the people who are not as good. This is a feature that I think good players should appreciate as well, because Nothing is more annoying, and I feel very self-conscious when I play a game and I just dominate so much that I feel like I'm kind of ruining the fun. But at the same time, I feel like the fun's ruined for me if I can't play my best in the match, and I have to like purposely like not do the move I know is the best move to do, or, you know, I have to like throw the game. This is a good medium, weakening my stats, putting it out there, and now I can play my best, but the game has this built-in handicap to make sure that, you know, the playing field is a little more even, and I can still enjoy myself even if I'm, you know, skillfully better than. So don't think of it as something that's just for the people who can't play that well or who don't want to get good at the game. It is a feature that I think that really good players who have casual friends should embrace.
And I feel like you should wear it as a badge of honor. You know, it's like Go, where you're fighting someone and you know that they're better than you, so you fight them with a handicap and even the odds. It's
the Comey.
The Comey. It's just it's a badge of honor. You're so much better that they need to even you out with this feature.
Right. What I have to do in my card game groups now is I do have weaker decks that I've purposely built that are just like, this is a deck that's not as good. It doesn't have all like the optimal choices of cards in it, but I can still play my best with it, and I'll have a fun time.
Yeah. I do that with Vanguard as well. So
yeah.
Cool.
All right, so they mentioned... Oh, right. The Mii fighters. So they showed off a few new outfits. I thought some of these were pretty cool. Yiga Clan, pretty cool. The mask kind of like makes it that it eliminates the benefit of playing as a Mii because you can't see your Mii's face with the mask. I mean, it's a cool design. I think people will like it, but just the fact that it has a mask on it kind of eliminates a lot of the charm of
I'm actually kind of the opposite end of the spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
I actually really like the fact that it's a mask so that you can pretend that it's a full-fledged character without being distracted by the fact that it's been Miified.
Fair enough. Splatoon 2 characters that's a great choice. I think that's making myself into a inkling of sorts with the gun, and I like that a lot. That's adorable. Ribbon Girl adding another ARMS character sort of into the mix there.
Yeah. They added Chibi Robo, which I thought was such an adorable addition. I really like the Chibi Robo franchise. And this one surprised me and made me super excited. They added Ray Mark III from Custom Robo. I was surprisingly hyped that they even remembered this game existed.
Yeah, no, that is true. I mean, like, that was only on 3DS, right?
It was on 3DS and GameCube, and that's it. And that's it.
Wow. I mean, yeah. I'm really kind of super proud that I know of that game and that they brought it to here, because, you know, I guess it has like a pretty decent following of like a small but dedicated fan base who realized how awesome those games were, even though they weren't like super popular here.
I played them so hardcore back then. Yeah.
Such a good idea.
Yeah. And they included the Toy-Con character so that it looks like your Mii is playing with the Labo. Very cool.
Very good integration of something that doesn't even it has no iconic characters or faces or anything like that, but it does have that iconic equipment, which is a great way to incorporate
You are the character in the Labo.
All right, so we got to see also that this is when they went into the paid DLC characters that will be coming. Again, they don't have any plans yet. In fact, I suspect that they'll probably kick things off with maybe a vote, or they'll take some sort of like, you know, opinion poll to get a feel for who are the ones that they should be bringing over. But as of right now, it sounds like we just finished everything we're working on is in the game, and now that slate is clean, now they will start maybe beginning on the new characters. 5 are planned, and you'll be able to buy one fighter, a stage, and multiple song tracks for that character, all for $6 per bundle. And there will also be a Fighter's Pass that will include all 5 of the characters, their stages, and songs for one somewhat discounted price of $25. They seem to be very cautious though, because you can effectively buy this now. By the time this is up, you can buy this pass for characters that don't exist yet, which is gonna raise a lot of people's red flags. But they at least were very much like, look, please don't. This is only for people who are confident that we're gonna give you something that you're going to like and that you're going to like this game. Heck, the game's not even out yet and they're selling you the DLC for something that doesn't exist. Who else but Nintendo could do that and not just sound like total tools? Honestly. Yeah.
It really sounded like they were very apologetic about it. Almost.
Yes,
they were like, "Oh, please understand. This is we're not trying to be scummy here." And I actually really don't think the price point they provided is unreasonable.
I'm not crazy personally. I lean a little towards the cheaper. I'm not offended or I don't think it's ridiculous, but I guess if for me, I won't pay for that sight unseen. Right? I'm not going to buy this $25, though I'm tempted because they also mentioned that you get a bonus for the pass, right?
Right.
Which is the Rex costume.
Which actually looks really good. It looks really good.
Gramps is on the back. I was so ecstatic. Just the fact that Gramps is in your helmet on the back of Rex from Xenosaga. It's not actually Rex himself. It's another amiibo costume again. But so here's the deal. Here's my dilemma. I don't like the idea of buying 5 characters for $25 for a game I don't yet own and for characters I don't yet see. But when the first little bonus is something that cool that kind of sparks my inspiration already, it kind of earns a few points in their favor of look how excited you are for just the bonus. You're going to like everything else that we make. We're Nintendo. We're not going to really let you down. We're gonna earn your $25. Give us a trust.
Absolutely. So. And in this case, it's not even just 5 fighters. It's coming with a stage and multiple tracks. The stage and music of which you can use with other fighters.
That is true. It is worth noting all those little extra things. I look at it as just the fighter in my head, but you know what? All that stuff is there too, and it does make sense.
And I do want to note, even if maybe you don't like the character that you're purchasing, maybe someone else, one of your friends that you're going to be playing with, would like to play that character. Having it available for them adds to the fun and value overall, I think.
It's true. I'm in such a dilemma. Because, like I said, I haven't played Smash ever seriously. This is the first one I'm probably going to buy day one ever. It's a very big stigma on my head to put $25 extra down before I've even started playing it. And so
naturally, at least one of us has to, just so that we can talk about the characters themselves.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's worth it. Just if you're going to be playing this game in a multiplayer setting, you want to have as many characters as possible so that you have as many options for the people you're playing with.
I personally don't foresee myself getting too many times where I'm going to play it with other people on my console. Everyone else I'm going to play it with have their own console, and they're probably going to buy the characters. So I'm probably going to just hold off and see if any of the single fighter packs are things that I am truly like, that will be my main. That is my main character. I'm willing to pay $6 to have this like really like wonderful character for me. But yeah, so that's where I am right now. Maybe I'll change my mind by the time it comes out, but right now I'm trying to hold my wallet a little tighter.
Yeah. But at least one of us has to pick up this pack.
Sure.
And it's gonna be me. It's gonna be me at least.
Makes sense. I will be envious of your Rex costume. Honestly, I'm already slightly envious of that. Do you have a main picked out, by the way?
For Smash?
Yeah, who do you think? Do you have a guy that you're looking that to maybe main in this game?
If I want my main, like the character that I put my heart and soul into most is Mega Man. And I'm actually a pretty good Mega Man player overall. If I want to really kick butt, I go into Pikachu.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So that's your to win, and the other one's your to style or to just feel at home.
Yes, that's actually the perfect way to put it.
Okay.
Pikachu's to win, Mega Man's to style.
Great. All right. I think that, and in this is just one of those situations where it happens to match thematically with me. But, the type of gameplay style I like most is where I'm one of those characters that can change modes or forms so that I can adapt to certain challenges. And the character that fits this the best is the Pokemon trainer, in my opinion, right?
Yeah. Pokemon trainer works very well for that.
Right. And they also specify that every one of the 3 Pokemon are just fully viable characters that you can main as. You don't have to switch off if you don't want to. So I'm thinking of even like I'll main one of his Pokemon and then just learn the others as
backup plans.
Right, exactly. Where I know this is a bad matchup for me right now. All right, maybe, Wartortle or a Squirtle rather is going to be the, giving me a little more of an edge in this situation. Now, so that's what I'm leaning towards right now.
With that in mind, I would also think you might want to consider Shulk.
Shulk, oh yeah?
Yeah.
What's
he has
his
different modes for his Monado. So he has like a jump mode which lets him jump faster or jump higher. He can switch to shield mode where he doesn't get knocked back quite as much, or he can switch into smash mode which lets him hit harder with his smash moves. And you can switch that out with a flick of the wrist or the right stick.
I will consider him even if he's not as thematically like with Mega Man with you, right? Mega Man,
yeah.
You got to have a robot. That's who you are. You're JB the robot.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I'll consider him. And speaking of characters, they did announce that there will be one free limited time character, and it was a little bit of a surprise. This is one I didn't expect too, and this is the last new character they showed off in this direct.
Yep, so they showed off Piranha Plants, which is such a weird, interesting add-on. It looks like you get him by registering gold points through My Nintendo. Or
so if you buy the game physically, and then once you register it with the My Nintendo system for gold points, they will unlock Piranha Plant for you as the character. Or if you just go and digitally pre-purchase the game,
it should automatically be there for you.
Right, exactly. So those are your options.
I don't believe he's going to be out on launch day, but he will be out sometime soon afterwards. And they confirmed an amiibo is coming out on the 15th of February next year.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if he's going to count as one of these 5 DLC.
No, he's not.
No, so
he's
is he never going to be available?
Counted.
Because the way they said it, he's a free limited time offer.
He's going to be paid in the future after the free offer ends, but it's not part of the Fighters Pass bundle.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. So we technically have 6 DLC characters already shown off, and one that you can get for free right now if you buy the game fast. So I'm just glad they didn't tie that in with the bundle there too, because I would feel kind of ticked if I didn't get anything for buying the game right away. So yeah, that's good. All right. Also, people who want to get their hands on this game and want to check it out early, there is a event going on in North America. They didn't give any details there yet, but you can go to the Nintendo.com page to see where they're visiting. So I'm sure there's gonna be events in all the usual cities and places, and so you can check that out if you want to go to one of those events. I haven't been to one in a while. I always enjoyed waking up early and going to the city to try something, out with a bunch of people who wait online to be the first to play. So it might be time for me to do that again.
Yeah, it might be. Now, this is the big reveal. They finally featured the adventure mode.
Yes. What an awesome video for this.
It seriously was. It was epic to the scale that I was not expecting from Smash.
I was expecting something pretty cool, maybe something even lighthearted or just Subspace Emissary was kind of cartoony, but it was still fun and, dark in a weird way. But this just kind of felt epic and mysterious and very intriguing.
Yeah. So you see the characters up on a cliff looking up at the sky at this looming threats, and a bunch of master hands are floating around almost like a fleet or a army, protecting this gigantic celestial being.
I can't even explain what it looks like. It's just, that's it. It's like some interstellar, like crazy spirit goddess.
Right. And so all of the Smash characters were kind of hyping themselves up, getting ready to fight. But once that celestial being started retaliating, all of the characters tried to pull off their defensive or evasive maneuvers, and they all failed.
I love how they even had the thing where Shulk, does he have some sort of like psychic or future sight or something?
He has a predictive ability where he can predict what's going to happen right before it happens.
Yeah, so he has a flash and he sees everyone getting like struck down by this thing. And he tells them like to run, but they're all like, what? And they don't quite, react to him. And then we see them all one by one doing their epic escape, getting caught and disappearing, except for desperate, heroic Kirby riding off on his warp star at full speed and just kind of being the only one to escape.
Yeah, and it was presented in a kind of tragic way.
Yeah, right. We saw everyone get, especially the cardboard.
Snake.
We just see Snake's cardboard box on the floor doing nothing but hiding, and then it just gets caught up in the laser stream. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a little bit of comedy, but overall it wasn't really played off as a comedy other than that moment. It was played off kind of tragically.
Yeah. And when Kirby's like crash landing on the world that he lit, and then the lyrics start kicking up to the Smash Brothers theme, that was like, like chills back of the neck.
Yeah,
how awesome that is.
That like it was like this stuff got real. And like this is it. And Kirby is like the last hope for all of these Smash characters to come back alive, and then it switched over and showed off this kind of the artwork and how the overworld works.
Right, it was a really cool art style. Like he's walking around the world and it has that like I want to say like fairy tale style pencily drawing, almost like maybe like a Yoshi's Island kind of art style to the world. It's just very bright, colorful, and very very fairy tale like. Yeah. But then that gets juxtaposed against scenes of whatever weird dark foundry the characters were taken to, and we see a mold being made out of Mario, and he comes to life. Whatever metal version they make of him comes to life, and he has those red eyes. And he looks at the screen. I've never seen Mario look that like
menacing.
Yeah, menacing. That is the word. It was such a great subversion of how those big blue eyes can just turn into something so evil and frightening.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they're willing to portray Mario in such a menacing and almost evil way. That's Nintendo's main dude.
Yeah, right. But here's the thing. None of the bad guys could pull that off as much because we've seen them all. They are as bad as they are, and they all are expected to be that way. But seeing the good guys taken in such a 180 degree, and then we see all of the other, characters from the cast with their red eyes being turned into this army, it adds a deeper level of wow and fright that you probably can't get any other way.
Yeah. And it really it almost kind of gives you the sense that Kirby is alone facing this gigantic task of bringing people back into the light.
Yes, and that was the title that we see at the end of it. World of Light is all they showed at this end screen. And so that is, I'm guessing, the name of this mode. That is our Subspace Emissary, even though he specified this is nothing like the Subspace Emissary. There's this world that you're going to be traveling around, and there's going to be all sorts of like map spots that you're going to stop by and alter. And I'm going to guess it looks like there has to be some sort of story mode to this, but
oh, definitely. Yeah. Subspace Emissary was pretty linear, and it looks like this has a lot more to it.
Yeah, a little RPG-ish elements, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
But overall, yeah, once it ended, it was just like, I just had to sit in silence for a while and just kind of absorb what I had just seen.
I was skeptical that they were going to end this direct with anything spectacular, because once they said that Piranha Plant was the last character they're revealing, I was like, okay, then they're not really going to end anything with a big punch. I was wrong.
Yeah.
World of Light was the biggest hit. Biggest
Have they
punch.
ever had lyrics to the Smash theme before?
No. I feel like they learned how popular lyrics are with the Odyssey theme, and they're bringing that over to Smash.
That was good. I will definitely be downloading that. I will be listening to that on my
it's just
iPhone this week.
that moment when Kirby crash lands and he's the only one left standing.
Yeah.
And then the epic lyrical music starts coming on, and you know that he's the hope of everyone. It was a great
feeling, yeah. And it must be really hard to pick one character from this cast to be the hero. I mean, Kirby feels like a good choice, though. I mean,
yeah, you would expect it to be Mario, but no, they went with the juxtaposition, and Kirby is, Sakurai's child.
That is his first game, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. And
yeah.
It's also a really good character for anyone to pick up. So
he's just so pure. Like, even if he had like the big red scary eyes, he couldn't be scary. Like, you still want to hug and believe in his heart and stuff. And I can't imagine him being corruptible anyway. So he is such a good, innocent, lonely character.
Yeah. There's a lot to say about this game, and once it comes out, we'll be covering it quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of community input.
Yeah, so can we take a breather? We have to stop for just a second, and then we'll get to the community polls, and let's just talk about, read up some of the people's opinions on this, because we have a lot there to talk about. Does that sound good to you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We definitely need it.
Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed. Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Search your soul and reawaken the undying light.
All right, community pulse. We have, we just asked everybody what got them most excited, what they thought was missing, and what their overall opinions were of the Smash Direct. And we're sure we're going to hear a lot of, I haven't read these in advance, but I just know that we're going to hear a lot of interesting opinions, and I'm wondering if I'm going to see a spectrum. Are we going to see people on both sides who are happy and people who were inexplicably upset about anything on here? So why don't you kick us off, JV?
There are some. So to start us off on a positive note, we got Jeffrey M. Batson. He says, ready to unlock all the characters. I love that they are starting you out with the OG7 and allowing people the satisfaction of unlocking all the characters. Along with the announcement of the story mode and collecting of spirits, I cannot wait to see the endless possibilities of combinations and strategies people come up with. That is definitely the baseline feeling that I have for this game. I'm excited to really dig into all the customizability here.
I'm a sucker for that. I love, like I said, when you told me about those groups, who do the Amiibo League, which is what I'm going to call it,
Amiibo battles. Yeah,
that really appeals to me on coming from a primarily strategic card gamer. That speaks to me on all those levels, trying to think of what things mix and match in the right way, what optimizes me by 1% winning. So I'm actually really looking forward to trying that out and mixing and matching and unlocking all those spirits that I need. I'm going to be really excited about that almost as much as I am about characters. I got the one for the, HP regeneration that I really think this character could benefit from, Yeah. It's going to be hunting down magic cards.
Yeah, it actually is, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, so on the other side of the spectrum, Jeff Weinstein wrote, am I the only one who apparently lost the passion, couldn't care less about Smash hype anymore? I'll most likely get it sometime after launch, but for now I'm feeling meh about the entire series in general, so I didn't even watch today's Direct. I mean, look, every game's not for everybody, and I feel like this is just a phenomenon when something is so popular and has so many people talking about it all the time. And if you're one of those people who isn't interested in the game that everyone's talking about, it kind of makes you feel a little, right? And maybe this episode of the podcast is the worst thing that you could hear right now.
It's the worst for you. I'm sorry. The worst.
But honestly, I feel that the positive of it is the fact that it's not just a game we're going to be playing by ourselves. It's a game that everyone's hyped for, that we're going to be playing together. And I feel like the way that Switch is situated with such a community focus, with such a online multiplayer focus, that you're going to play this in a way that we haven't really done in a while. Like I said, couch co-op, getting people over to play together is something that a lot of people just don't do anymore. And it's a lot of people who've hit a certain point in their lives where you just don't call 20 friends over your house to play in your living room or bedroom for a day. I'm excited to kind of tap into that again by having the community to gather in a chat room, and we're going to have days where we just play this in a big, large, group setting for hours on end. And that's really why I think I'm hyped for it. Everyone else could be hyped for 100 different reasons, but that is why I feel like the hype is totally warranted.
I have so many friends who've kind of grown out of favor with gaming in general, or even with console gaming as a whole. So they skipped out on the Wii U smash, but the Switch is prevalent enough where this might be what brings them back into gaming. And even if each individual person isn't specifically excited about this game, it's good for the industry as a whole. So, from Adam Bass, Link Triforce, he said, "Loved it. I'm not particularly excited about the 2 new characters announced, but Spirits and the new story mode look epic. The last bonus character reveal of Piranha Plant came out of left field, and the reaction to it was hilarious. In short, I am beyond hyped for this game." So yeah, I don't know if anyone expected Piranha Plant. Who expected Piranha Plant to be a character over Waluigi? Poor Waluigi.
Yeah, I mean...
But it's cool. It's cool that they're willing to go in this direction for characters. I'm fine with
I feel
that.
like Waluigi at least still has a chance, because you know what, the hype for him, or the movement for him to come into the game, started, after the game's development, after the reveal and all this. Whereas, as they said before, they couldn't even put someone like Rex in the game, who is a runaway hit on the system. Xenoblade Chronicles did gangbusters here, and he's become a major RPG icon that I know they would love to have thrown him in the game fully, but they couldn't. If anyone wants a character, just hold on the hope and keep paying attention for the next time they ask for a community poll, and then get all your crazy fans who want Waluigi in the game to go and sign that petition or to vote, because I think that's how it's going to happen.
Yeah. And you really, if the character that you really wanted didn't make it to the game, it's not the end of the world. I think there's plenty of characters that you can latch onto. I'm sure.
If they knew the crazy movement that Waluigi had before, when they started making it, I think they would have put him in already. But I don't think they expected people to raise such a ruckus in his name.
Right. Now, on the same note, from Facebook, we got a comment from Jeff Eaps. He said, "I feel hurt." It's probably because there was a leak online about a lot of fan favorite characters.
Yes, I saw this.
They included Gino and Isaac, and Shadow. A lot of online meme characters. Mm-hmm. And I think some people got really overhyped about it. and naturally leaks like this will potentially cause disappointment. So
yeah, totally. Benji Kong wrote, "I'm really glad they did a deep dive into what the ZR button does on the menu screen. Thrilling stuff." I just have to bring this because his point is well taken. They really went into every detail. I did not expect to get this entire instruction manual level description of the game. So maybe not every second of it was exciting, but you know what? Everything going into it. And honestly, here's the benefit. These are all things that no one looks up really. And you know what? You start the game and there's all these options and all these features that maybe you're like, I don't know what this is. And you kind of just steer clear of them because you don't know what they do, or you spend like a day just tinkering with stuff. Since they had your attention and they got it with all the big stuff you want to read, this was probably just an educational moment for them to be like, you know what, just let them, these are all the things we need them to know, or we want them to know is out there, so that people don't complain about features that don't exist that really exist, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It didn't even take up that much time, so I'm not really, and I don't think it should warrant too much complaints.
And they really did. They pieced it in a little bit here. Like here's a section about the menu screen. Oh, new character. Okay. And here's the online fighting. Oh, and here's a little feature about the brightness and sound. Oh, by the way, here's a crazy new mode where you can blow up everything in the world. Blah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's fine. Overall, I'm really, really satisfied with this Nintendo Direct. It left me wanting the game even more than ever before. So it's successful.
It was successful for me too, where like I get kind of interested in it, and then time goes by and I kind of settle down because, like I said, it's not my genre. It's not a thing I've played a lot of in the past. And then a new event like this happens and it reinvigorates me. And what's probably going to happen is tomorrow I'm going to pre-order it. While my hype right now is still on a high, I'm still buzzed off that song and that whole intro to the story mode. I'm going to pre-order it. I'm just lock myself in. And that'll make me want to download it and remind me to play it day one, because I feel like if you get into it day one with everybody else, you're just going to ride that wave of excitement and that mutual psychic energy that we all share at times like that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right. No, really awesome. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed everything that we had to say about it, because, this is... I don't know. It's a good moment for us all here. So
it's coming up sooner than you think. It's December 6th. That's in 1 month.
Wow. That's a month and 4 days from this podcast going up. So yes.
It's coming.
Wow. Yeah, there you
Smash is coming.
Smash is coming. But we are going. So I think until next time, everybody.
Switch it up.
Thanks for listening. You can support the SwitchCast by visiting us at patreon.com/theswitchcast and join the review crew by rating us and subscribing on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Also check out our Discord chat, where we have an enthusiastic bunch of Switch fans in a family-friendly environment. Also join our Facebook group for daily discussion and quite a bit of activity towards the Switch itself.
You can also contact us directly via email at kc@theswitchcast.com and jv@theswitchcast.com. Talk to us on Twitter @theswitchcast.
Thank you, HeatleyBros, for the theme music. And check us out on our website at theswitchcast.com, where we will post all relevant links and show notes.
Promotional considerations provided by publishers in the form of review copies of games.
Dorpsbewohner.